Well, good morning, everyone. Wanted to ask how many people are familiar with the building on the left, have been in the building on the left, if you could raise your hand. Dearly departed building known as Waterside Mall. Waterside Mall used to be the headquarters of EPA, started my career there. It was the mecca of sick buildingness. I think the very first day there that I was there, there was an announcement, we're clearing the second floor, a large piece of asbestos has fallen from the ceiling, it's not friable. And, you know, saw mice and running through the halls and pigeons sucked into the air intake and all kinds of fun stuff. So that's how the federal government used to be doing on indoor air and indoor environmental quality. The other building in there was an EPA building in Research Triangle Park where Bob Thompson works and where they learned the lessons and built with indoor air quality in mind. So we are capable of learning. It was actually, I think, a blessing in disguise that Waterside Mall was such a disaster, that EPA was there, because what a better group to kind of expose, literally, to the issues of indoor environmental quality. So what I'll discuss today is basically what we require for federal buildings in terms of IEQ, some of the guidance and resources, how we're doing on our own buildings, and what more is needed. So in 2006, I was part of a group, went to a White House summit on green buildings, and we developed a set of what's called guiding principles, that every federal building should meet certain green building standards. I was actually in EPA's Indoor Environments Division at the time, and so we smuggled these principles into the guiding principles. And ventilation and thermal comfort was easy because there's ASHRAE standards on those, which helps a lot. Moisture control, I was proud of this. Before LEED even mentioned moisture and mold issues, we got this into the guiding principles. Now, there wasn't any actual standards, so we just said develop plans, moisture control and mold plans, and be aware of it. Daylighting, another issue with a lot of impact on productivity and health and psychological states and all that. Low emitting materials, again, we didn't really put standards in there. We didn't say use this particular system or that one, but just said, be aware of it, buy low emitting products. And protecting indoor air quality during construction, again, there are some standards. The SMACNA, I forgot the name, but it's I love that acronym for the air conditioning and other construction engineers. So, and for existing buildings in 2008, they added some guidance and added a couple important concepts as well, integrated pest management and tobacco smoke control. So federal buildings do have these principles they're supposed to meet. We don't want the wrong kind of green building with the occupants and the building itself turning green. So I think we're making progress on the federal level. We also have a lot of resources, a lot of excellent resources. The Indoor Air Quality Program that I mentioned has a lot of information about, we mentioned mold, also VOCs and all kinds of things. And when I was with the Indoor Air Quality Program, they also funded Lawrence Berkeley National Lab to develop a set of research findings, and there's a nice set of those there at that link. NIST has an excellent group on IEQ, Andy Pursley's group, doing a lot of research. And then there's the Federal Interagency Committee on Indoor Air Quality, just basically sharing a lot of information on what different agencies and others outside the federal government are doing. So there's a fair amount of decent resources. Now, how are we doing on our own buildings? We're doing a lot better than we were with Waterside Mall in those days. There's not a lot of data, and as folks mentioned, there's not a lot of money, not enough focus on these issues. There is more scrutiny thanks to the guiding principles, and really when we first came out with the guiding principles, federal agencies were like, yeah, whatever. But now they came up with OMB scorecards, which made the agencies pay attention. If they get a red or a yellow, they're not too happy, they want a green. And of course, LEED and some of the other programs, Green Globes, focusing on the issue. Several agencies have explicit policies on their indoor air, and GSA is one of them. And so I did speak with Dave Marciniak. The folks at GSA, Public Building Service, are doing a few things there on, you know, kind of reducing our own sources of contamination, improving ventilation, and so on. So what more is needed? Basically, you know, we have all these concepts out there. We have, in terms of moisture and VOCs and, you know, combustion products, all these issues, but it's kind of not wrapped up into one package, and that's what the market wants. So I'm talking about cross communication. Architects, they want something easy and simple. Measures, tests, protocols, you know, how do you make it all kind of easy to work with? Energy is so easy, you can measure it. Water is so easy, you can measure it. And so the GSA is looking to do a health and productivity summit, actually one or two, to help fill in some of these blanks that I'm talking about and see where the research is ready to really put into practice. So I think that's all I have time for, but you can certainly contact me anytime for more information. Thanks.